All right, girls, a couple minutes, and then we'll let you guys get to your thing. Girls, we all know that intangibles are why we win. We know things like focus, vision, faith, trust, being able to cast off offenses, being able to get rid of self-pity. Those last two things, mainly because they just suck so much energy out of you. But those intangibles, victory is just a byproduct of having those things. But what people don't understand about those intangibles is that you have to go after them. You have to go after them aggressively. Attitude is not a gene, it's a muscle. We act like, oh, he just has it, or she just has it. A researcher at Stanford, Carol Dweck, says that people with that mindset, those who believe that you just have it or you don't have it, really don't have that much success in their life. But those people who believe you can learn, and there are two types of people, those who learn and those who don't. Those people who believe you can learn these attributes, they tend to go out and have successful lives. What I think we've done a great job of as a team this season is talking about intangibles, and in each game going after them. We've talked about trust, about living in vision and not circumstance, about being necessary to each other. And guess what? They don't just relate to that game. We can draw on them for every game. In fact, you can draw on them in life. But we must go after them aggressively, intentionally. Okay, this isn't the flu. You catch a cold, you don't catch trust. You catch a cold, you don't catch vision. I want us to go after one big intangible today, grit. Grit is the #1 factor associated with victory. It is passion of perseverance, despite being confronted by distractions as you are going towards a goal. Research shows that grit correlates with victory more than IQ, SAT scores, grades, wealth, resources, anything. I want you to have grit. If you want to have peace, if you want to have a healthy family, if you want to have a healthy body, if you want to win a championship, then you have to have grit. You have to go after that intangible. Here's grit. John and his family, sitting right there. I've never known a braver person. I've never known someone who demonstrates grit more than John. At the age of 2, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Doctors gave him 6 weeks to live. Told his family to take him home, try to enjoy the time they had left, try to make it as comfortable as possible. But his family refused to quit. Refused to take no for an answer. Refused to be comfortable. They found doctors who were willing to try. They pushed for them to try any procedure it would take to save him. When insurance companies said that they weren't going to pay for the surgeries, this family took, because the surgeries were too experimental, they took their fight to the CEOs of those companies and said, you have to pay for them. They refused to quit, even in the darkest moments, even when it looked like John might slip away from them. And he never did slip away. He fought for his life every day with grit and determination. Can you imagine the grit it takes as a 2-year-old to fight like that? Can you imagine facing the surgeries and the chemotherapy and having the grit and resolve just to keep coming and coming and coming? Can you imagine the grit and faith you have to show as a mother, a father, a sister to keep going and watch your son or your little brother face those kinds of obstacles? I hear them say all the time, where there is life, there is hope. I've watched Johnny go through it for 10 years, fighting every day, and I've never heard or seen him complain about it. He's faced multiple surgeries and continues to year on year with one thing or another. But he has beaten his cancer. He is the winner. He is the champion. He'll be 21 next year, 19 years after the experts gave him 6 weeks to live, 19 years after they told his family it's over. There's nothing we can do. To God, impossible is nothing. As long as you have a willing heart, as long as you have grit, as long as you're willing to face any obstacle head on. God says with faith as big as a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. When you have faith as big as this family does, collectively, together, to be strong for each other, perhaps when another is weak, you can defeat death. When you feel any self-pity today, just say to yourself, no pity, no self-pity, grit. Next time you start judging how hard something is, maybe a class you're taking or an opponent, Say no judgment. Grit. No judgment. This is a test, just a distraction. One thing I've learned from being in this family is that each of us needs all of us. You girls know I was feeling pretty bad after hurting Dawn the other day, so came into my office yesterday, and this was sitting on it with a note. It says, Coach Godwin, sometimes accidents in life just flat out suck. So here, have a sucker. Because today is a brand new day. Then, just as I'm leaving yesterday, another girl comes up to me. She has a plate of brownies and cookies. And she says, I know you were feeling really bad, so I wanted to bring this to you. And no one's been sweeter or more understanding or more forgiving than Dawn. Each of us need all of us, even me. And we don't understand this well enough in a team sometimes. We need each other. Okay, but we tend to focus on what we need to do, on our game. And so we keep our mouths shut. We get better at what we do, and we don't challenge anybody else. We don't make anyone answer to us, and we don't answer to anybody else. So we all go out there, but we're by ourselves. So challenge each other. Connect with one another. Raise each other up. As a team today, say this to each other. Are you strong? I'm strong if you're strong. And the answer is I'm strong. Go to your teammates today and ask them what they need. Challenge them. And if you know what they need, give it to them. Ask them not to cheat themselves on their own dreams. Of all people in life, ladies, don't cheat yourself. Ask them to go high. The size of our dream depends on the strength of our team. Each of us needs all of us. Just whisper that to yourself today. And the wonderful, magical thing about teams is that people are different. And we're all made to be different. But somehow we can come together because we need each other. Each of us needs all of us. So tell that to everyone on the team. We don't want you, we need you. So let's go out there tonight and show grit. Just like John does, just like his family does. And let's show it together. Because just like John, we can't win this thing on our own. We need all of us. True grit. God says, my grace is sufficient. We have a challenge tonight, but his grace is sufficient. Having something you're willing to work for with someone is what makes life worth living. Let's go aggressively after this championship together tonight. Those will be back in about 20 minutes or so.